Most men think attraction is obvious. They think if a woman likes you, she'll confess it. She'll chase. She'll make everything easy. But real attraction rarely looks like that, especially with women, because attraction for a woman is emotional before it is verbal. She doesn't always say what she feels. Sometimes, she hides it better than you expect. Not because she wants to manipulate you, but because attraction makes people vulnerable. And vulnerability is dangerous when someone is afraid of rejection. So instead of expressing interest directly, she shows it indirectly, in small behaviors, tiny emotional reactions, subtle changes in energy. And most men completely miss them. Not because the signs are invisible, but because they're looking for loud signals while attraction usually whispers. That's why some men lose women who were deeply attracted to them, without ever realizing it. And the painful part, sometimes she was waiting for you to notice, waiting for you to understand what she couldn't openly say. But you stayed uncertain, passive, overthinking every interaction. And eventually, she emotionally disappeared, not because she didn't feel anything, but because attraction without emotional leadership slowly dies. A woman can feel attracted to you, but still lose interest if she feels you lack confidence, awareness, or emotional strength. That's the truth nobody teaches men. Attraction is not only about looks. It's about emotional impact, the way you make her feel internally. And once you understand female psychology, you start noticing signs most men never see. The first sign she is secretly attracted to you is when she remembers tiny details about you. Not the obvious things, not your birthday, not your job title. The small things, the random story you told once, your favorite drink, a song you mentioned weeks ago, the name of your childhood pet, something you said casually that even you forgot. Most people only remember information they emotionally connect to. That's psychology. The brain naturally prioritizes emotionally meaningful details. So when a woman remembers small things about you, it means your words stayed in her mind after the conversation ended. And that only happens when emotional attention exists. Think about it. Women talk to many people every day. Most conversations disappear instantly. But when attraction is involved, your presence lingers psychologically. You stay in her thoughts longer than necessary. And the dangerous mistake men make is underestimating this sign. Because they think, she's just nice. No, nice people forget details too. Attraction creates emotional memory, especially in women. A woman emotionally invests attention before she invests affection. That's why she notices subtle things about you. The way you speak, your habits, your moods, your energy shifts. And here's something deeper most men don't understand. Women observe before they attach. Long before she openly likes you, she studies you emotionally. She wants to know, are you emotionally stable, confident, calm under pressure, authentic, safe, strong? So when she remembers details, she's not just listening, she's psychologically analyzing you. And the more attracted she becomes, the more attention she unconsciously gives you. But weak men ruin this moment. The second they notice interest, they become desperate. Suddenly they overtext, over-explain, seek reassurance, and instantly, the emotional balance changes. Because attraction grows in emotional tension, not emotional pressure. A woman wants to feel your presence, not your neediness. That's why stoic men naturally appear attractive, not because they play games, but because they remain emotionally centered. They don't panic when attention appears. They don't chase validation. They stay grounded, and grounded energy feels powerful. The second sign she is secretly attracted to you is when she finds excuses to contact you. Not always directly. Sometimes it's random questions, memes, small reactions to your stories, unnecessary conversations, things that technically don't require interaction. But she creates interaction anyway. And most men miss the psychology behind this. When someone is attracted to you, they seek emotional proximity. Human beings naturally move toward what emotionally stimulates them. So even when she has no real reason to text you, she still finds one. Why? Because attraction creates curiosity. She wants access to your attention. Not constantly, not obsessively, but enough to maintain emotional connection. And here where things become interesting. Women often communicate attraction indirectly because direct vulnerability feels risky. Men usually confess attraction openly. Women usually test emotional safety first. So instead of saying, "I like you," she says, "Did you watch that show?" Or, "You disappeared today." Or, "You're weird." Sounds casual, but psychologically, she's initiating emotional engagement. She wants your attention without fully exposing herself emotionally. And this is where emotionally intelligent men separate themselves from needy men. Needy men become overexcited instantly. They think, "She texted me first, I won." No, attraction is not won through excitement. It's built through emotional consistency. The strongest response is calm confidence. Not coldness, not arrogance, presence. A man who stays emotionally composed becomes psychologically magnetic. Because most people today react emotionally to everything. Silence scares them. Distance scares them. Uncertainty destroys them. But stoic energy creates mystery. And mystery intensifies attraction. The third sign she is secretly attracted to you is when she teases you emotionally. This is one of the most misunderstood signs in female psychology, because men often interpret teasing as disrespect. But playful teasing is usually emotional engagement. Indifference is silent. Attraction reacts. If she jokes about you, playfully challenges you, makes sarcastic comments, or lightly provokes you emotionally, she's trying to create chemistry. Why? Because emotions create connection faster than logic. A woman who feels nothing for you usually stays neutral. But a woman who feels attracted often wants emotional movement. She wants to see your reactions, your confidence, your emotional control. And here's the deeper psychological truth. Women are extremely attracted to emotional strength. Not aggression, not dominance, emotional stability. Can you handle pressure without collapsing emotionally? Can you stay calm when challenged? Can you laugh without becoming defensive? That matters more than most men realize, because attraction is deeply tied to emotional safety. If a woman senses that small teasing destroys your confidence, she unconsciously loses attraction. Not because she's cruel, but because emotional weakness feels unstable. And women naturally seek emotional stability in men. That's evolutionary psychology. So when she teases you, don't become reactive. Don't overdefend yourself. And definitely don't seek validation. Just stay relaxed. Play with the energy naturally. That emotional composure is attractive because it communicates, I'm secure within myself. And security is rare today. The fourth sign she is secretly attracted to you is when her body language changes around you. This happens subconsciously. She may adjust her hair constantly, face her body toward you, hold eye contact longer than necessary, smile differently around you, become more aware of her appearance. Sometimes she suddenly becomes quieter around you. Other times, more energetic. Why? Because attraction changes nervous system behavior. When someone emotionally affects us, our body reacts before logic does. That's why body language reveals emotions words try to hide. And eye contact is one of the biggest indicators, especially prolonged eye contact followed by nervous withdrawal. That moment when she looks at you, holds it, then suddenly looks away. That's tension. And tension is the birthplace of attraction. But here, where most men fail catastrophically, the moment they notice attraction, they start performing, trying too hard to impress, trying too hard to sound alpha, trying too hard to maintain attention. And instantly, their authenticity disappears. Women are highly sensitive to emotional incongruence. She can feel when a man is forcing confidence instead of embodying it. Real confidence feels calm. It doesn't beg to be seen. That's why stoicism becomes powerful in dating. A stoic man doesn't chase reactions. He doesn't perform for approval. He remains internally stable. And stability creates emotional gravity. The fifth sign she is secretly attracted to you is when she becomes emotionally affected by your attention. This is the strongest sign of all. If your presence changes her emotional state, attraction exists. Maybe she gets jealous when other women appear around you. Maybe her mood changes when you become distant. Maybe she suddenly acts colder after feeling ignored. Maybe she watches your reactions carefully. Why? Because emotionally invested people fear emotional loss. And attraction always creates emotional sensitivity. The more someone values your attention, the more your behavior emotionally impacts them. That's why emotionally detached women suddenly become reactive around a man they truly like. And this confuses many men. Because they think, if she likes me, she should always act warm. No. Attraction often creates emotional inconsistency, especially when feelings are hidden. One day she seems close, the next day distant. One day playful, the next day quiet. Not because she's fake, but because attraction creates internal conflict. Part of her wants connection. Another part wants emotional protection. And the more emotionally powerful you become, the more clearly you'll recognize this pattern. But listen carefully. Recognizing attraction is not permission to lose self-respect. Some men finally notice a woman likes them and immediately become obsessed. They abandon discipline, purpose, standards, and slowly, they lose the very traits that created attraction in the first place. Because attraction grows towards strength, but dies in desperation. Always remember that. A woman may be attracted to your attention, your calmness, your emotional control, your ambition, your mystery. But once you become emotionally dependent on her validation, the dynamic changes. That's why stoicism matters. Not to suppress emotions, but to master them, to remain centered regardless of external validation, to understand attraction without becoming controlled by it. Most men today are emotionally reactive. A text changes their mood. A delayed reply destroys their confidence. A woman's attention becomes their emotional oxygen. And that weakness silently destroys attraction. Because no one is attracted to someone who emotionally collapses without reassurance. Real power is emotional self-control. The ability to stay calm, focused, grounded, even when attraction exists. Especially when attraction exists. Because the strongest man in the room is usually the one who controls himself the most. And that energy is unforgettable. So if she remembers tiny details, finds excuses to contact you, teases you emotionally, changes her body language around you, and becomes emotionally affected by your attention, there's a high chance she feels something deeper than friendship. But don't rush. Don't force labels. Don't become needy. Don't destroy mystery by demanding certainty too early. Let attraction breathe. Stay focused on your purpose, your growth, your emotional discipline. Because ironically, the less desperate you are for validation, the more attractive you become. And that's the truth most men learn too late. A woman is not attracted to the man who needs her most. She's attracted to the man who remains complete within himself. The man who can feel emotion without losing control. The man who can care without becoming weak. The man who understands female psychology without becoming manipulated by it. That man becomes rare. And rare men are unforgettable.